Give me just a second here. Make sure we have if we have a file here, file download now. Okay. Gregory says, hey, guys, real quick, there's a couple things I'm going to go over really quickly. There will be, of course, a replay of this on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. It's the same address, so to speak, as our website, Surplus Funds Riches, all one word. That is the name of our YouTube channel. Jocelyn, Mike, AG, good to see you. Hello, Mr. Sean, you got it. Real quickly, guys, one of the things you may have noticed, those of you guys got the new program back in January, you may have noticed that the list has gotten a lot bigger. That's because we've combined all the surplus funds lists. It's easier on our end. It's not that we went from, 800, 900 files to 9,000 overnight. We simply combine them all because it's just as easy for us and everybody knows where where their lane is with each program. So I think we're good there. Let me double check something, make sure I'm not getting Jeff checking in. Okay. Hello, guys, the chat. I'm sorry. Let me look at this. When we make it all public, I'm glad everybody saw that some folks had jumped in, but when we make it all public, it'll sometimes screw up the event. So I'm making it private. It'll come through to me. Please don't use the questions section, the question and answer. All right. So Don says, hey, KD, Glennis, Rochelle, Richard, Barb, Peter, Dan, Bill. That's awesome. A couple things. First of all, the lists have been combined. So from the panning and the Premier 16 and the National Surplus, those are all the same list now. It just shows you what our active files list is. We did that simply because it's a time saver for us, so we didn't have to break it out each evening when we posted that. One of the questions I got that I thought was the most interesting question I'd had in a while was, can you give us an idea of what your back end looks like? Because obviously you have a huge volume coming through. And so here you go. We have 3 full-time case managers calling 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. As you can imagine, that can cover a lot of files, even with rotation hitting them multiple times as we go. 3 full-time case managers, a full-time data entry person who also functions as a mail clerk, a full-time submissions administration person who also pitches in as needed, and a full-time attorney liaison. All she does is set up deals with attorneys. She's also affiliated with an attorney that we work with, our central attorney. We've got all those people, $24,000 payroll when you add it all up per month. And then Jeff and I are not on that payroll. We are only when we put deals together and or flip property. So that's a lot. I'll give you more examples. 2,500 plus mailings per month, 60,000 prints. Okay, basically 120 reams of paper every single month. That's what, 120 reams, 12 boxes of paper every single month, 400 cups of coffee a month, and 12 5-gallon waters go down every single month. We're excited about it, guys. We've gone up quite a bit, and I've been able to keep up with it with no problem. And we're also going to have the next sale February 3rd. It'll start on February 3rd, 10 a.m. It'll run through the 4th. I'm not sure how late. Last time we ran the sale in February, we had planned on going. That was also a 3rd and 4th. We had planned on going through 10 o'clock Eastern time. All of our sales start at, well, they start at 10 a.m. on the first day, Eastern time. But we had planned on going till 10 p.m. on February the 4th, and we had to shut it down a couple hours early. I would not be surprised if that didn't happen again. We're very happy with the crew that we've got, with the workers that are on board with us, the members, and we're excited about continuing to work with them. I was talking about the February sale, how it went on the February sale. He was asking me March 3rd and 4th. I was talking about what happened on February 3rd and 4th, though, was we actually had to cut it down early. So March 3rd and 4th, I would not be surprised if it was shut down early on the 4th. Guys, remember, we said this in the last webinar. We're not going to be sending email reminders of folks that we're having the webinar. On the website, surplusfundsriches.net, there is a webinars tab. It'll give you dates of when the webinars are, and usually within at least a couple days prior. We're trying to get better at that. You'll have a link where you can sign in and see that, and then we'll post on our socials. So whatever you do, the main thing that you got to remember is go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Surplus Funds Riches, all one word. There's also a link off the site to our Facebook page, and that has a lot of information, as well as Instagram and TikTok and all that. Our username on all of those, or channel, is always Surplus Funds Riches, one word. Guys, I'm going to open this up. First time viewer, thank you, Glennis. Really interested in the opportunity. I'm going to open this up to you guys to ask questions. Any question is okay on the programs. Keep in mind that I posted another video this evening, but tomorrow another one's going to go up that's going to talk about gaming the system and why it's important, why the Pro Pack would be a great buy in March. But keep an eye on the YouTube channel because there's going to be a lot of information coming. And again, if you have any questions after this, first of all, go to surplusfundsriches.net, click on the products page. The middle of the page is a download that goes over all the programs, and it also is going to have pricing in it for the next sale. After reading that, if you still have questions, you're welcome to call me directly on my cell phone at 704-791-9398, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern, 704-791-9398. That is also on our website, that phone, 9 a.m. please to 1 p.m. And please, after you've read the download on the products page so that you can ask specific questions. The files, there is a file here now you can download that is also, if I'm not mistaken, that is also an overview of the programs that we have. You're welcome to download that. First time viewer from name. I figured I was looking at the sign-ins, looked like a lot of new people. Barb, I have March 3rd on my calendar with 5 reminders. Really don't want to miss it. Guys, ask away. Any question you got, this is your opportunity. We got until 8:30. We try to wrap everything up by 8:30. So any and all questions are very much appreciated. And now's the time to ask them. One of the things you may have picked up by something I said earlier, in addition to get the initial PDF that you get, it's a written step-by-step that has a link in it with a password to a resources page with video training and a lot of information in it. Part of that also is you have access to our active files list. So you know what's already being worked. So once you get your own list, we teach you how to do that. The first thing you're going to do is check your list against ours, make sure there isn't any duplication on there so that you don't waste any time researching debt against property when we've already got the file. We don't have a saturation issue, but it's nice that we're that transparent. Where are the training videos on the resources page, Sean? I was checking in our PDF. AG, it's like page 1. You need to check a little harder. The link is page 1. Usually in most of those programs, it's page 1 or 2. It's literally a link right there in your PDF. Bill, could you please explain how the ROP program works and will it be available as an add-on? So that's a separate buy, Bill. It's rightfulownerproject.org. It's been a nightmare to revamp that website. I hope to get that up here by mid-March, but we'll let you know about that. But you get membership to that. I think it's going to be a lifetime for $297. It's kind of a BBB for what we do. Ethics pledge, membership directory, that type of thing. Gives you a lot of online credibility. Just reminding everybody, don't use Q&A, guys. The question and answer, use the chat section. Gregory, good evening from Colorado. Naeem, I called you a week ago. I'm all in. City area, Jersey. That's great. Jim, wanted to get something back. You can monitor the web pages for free by using watchthatpage.com. Okay, thank you. AG, sorry, I must have missed it. I get that a lot where people go, hey, where's the connection to the resource? And I'm like, guys, it's page 1. Don, are you also .com or just .net? Yeah, we're both, Don. We moved to .net because .com was not a new HTTPS, and we could not get that moved over on our digital space setup. And yes, you are going to occasionally see, if you do any due diligence at all, bad reviews on everybody that sells a program in this space. Regardless of what we tell people, you got to work. There's no money fairy, and you're going to have to research debt. And that, regardless of what we tell people, we're still going to get people upset. We've been doing this for 16 years, longer than anybody else. Worked over 20,000 files. We're going to make an occasional person mad. What is the best way to get started with you, Glennis? So Surplus Funds Riches, download this file that's here. You should have it downloaded in front of you. Surplusfundsriches.net. The minimum I get is the Pro Pack. I think that's a great deal. It has the National Surplus and the Premier 16 in it. There's also larger bundles. The bigger bundle you get, the more different programs you get. So the per cost goes down per program, the bigger one you get. So Get the biggest one you can afford. That's not going to make you uncomfortable because it gives you different options working different things. We have flipping programs in there. We have a lot going on. But go to the page, surplusfundsriches.net, click on products. There's a download in the middle of the page. Read what's there, and you'll get an idea if you like something or not. And then if you've got a specific question after that, give me a call. Hi, Sean. Quick question. Turn a few files in. For panning, I had a couple that were deceased. Yeah, that's going to happen. Is there a way or place to do a quick lookup to see if the person's deceased before all the work's done? Yeah, Howard, there's a couple ways to do that. By the way, guys, look, the average person 65 years and older, it's 78% of people 65 years and older, 78% own a home. So obviously the vast majority of people that own homes are older. You compare that to the millennials at like 38%. So when you look at that, obviously the people are going to be older, and it's a price of doing business. People are going to die. And we do you guys a favor and let you know if it's gone through the underwriting process at our end. And then we found in the skip tracing that they've died. We find that out with our skip tracing systems. We let you know. Having said that, some people will, before even researching debt, they will put the person's name in with the city where the property was located and the state, and followed by the word obituary, just to see if an obit pops up with the exact same name in the same area. Other people will simply get their own skip tracing just to check that. If you're going to do that, I would highly recommend Microbilt, microbilt.com. Guys, there's going to be a replay available on this. Microbilt.com. If you call them, ask for Randy Mosteller and tell him you're working with Sean Bougie or Greater Good Company. And what he'll do is waive the startup, which is $200 on that. It's a reasonable search. It's neat because it gives you possible relatives and associates, and it is good at identifying whether or not somebody's deceased. Very good at that. So if you want to do that, that's great. The other thing is, what a lot of people do is they go, you know what, they turn it in, realizing that it's a cost of doing business that some claimants will have passed away. Currently working the program for Hidden. I bought National a while back. I know for tax, you have to verify funds. Do we have to call attorneys to verify mortgage overages? Absolutely not. Pete, you do not. I get up with support if you have any further questions about that, but it's basically, we're looking at age a list with panning. Hi all, nice to be here. That's Kat. Thank you, Kat. Tracy, I want to do this myself. Will buyout forms or other documents for contact be included in the package so I can do the whole thing myself with surplus funds, both for tax and mortgage overages? Yes, they teach you how to do it completely on your own. Hire the attorney, use a structured buyout, all the documents, the scripts, all that. Is there any blank forms to keep track of overages one is working on? Are there any? Yeah, a lot of people, Tracy, you can either get the CRM of your choice, the database management system of your choice, or a lot of people literally use Excel files to track that kind of stuff. Linda, I need a mentor. Is this a possible? I can pay a small amount, not $75 an hour. Is that a possibility? So Linda, you don't need a mentor. The program is complete. If you read it completely and then you also watch the videos, it's complete. Support is included. Jeff gets back if you have any questions after reading that and watching the videos. He usually gets back in one business day, even though he has a total of 3 to do so. He's very, very good about that. The mentorship is silly because it's a step-by-step. We've got these live webinars to answer questions. And of course, your support gets back very, very quickly. It is $7.50 an hour. And the reason we did it that way is we don't want to have it. We don't think it's necessary, and we don't want to do it. So if you're going to talk us into having a one-on-one for an hour, it's going to cost you a ton of money because we just don't think it's necessary. For that package, where are we finding the money when telling the bankruptcy court? So John, I believe you're talking about the hybrid program where it's a surplus funds that's been created and you can't get a hold of the people, or they don't want to work with you, or there's too much debt. The hybrid program teaches you how to use, if they went into bankruptcy within 2 years before or after the foreclosure, teaches you how to get the bankruptcy court to get the money out and give you a 25% referral. That's the hybrid program. I'm not sure, but I think it may be available as an add-on during the sale. If not, it'll be available in the Diamond bundle. Also, guys, just so you know, once you get involved with us, you can also go to the resources page, and there will be, with your ebooks that you got, there will be a link to pass by our loyalty discounts where some of the ancillary programs are on there. They are not as cheap if you do it that way. If you do add-ons, it's the way we sell, you got a single program or a bundle, you can add something on for whatever it is, 150, whatever it is, excuse me, for that particular add-on. That's going to be cheaper than getting it later through your past buyer loyalty discount. And we don't discount national surplus or national deed flip Premier 16. So it's usually just for the add-ons, and it's going to be like $300 instead of $100 or $150 because it's point of sale. It's like when you go and you get a BOGO, buy one, get one half off sale at a shoe place. You can't go and go, hey, I don't want the second one for half off, and then go back a month later and go, hey, I want that deal. You can't get that. That's not how that works. It's point of sale. As I have been working the files, I have been having challenges obtaining the final documents in your list to obtain from lenders satisfied or release. Any suggestions, Pete? People don't have that. If you go to Register of Deeds, as far as satisfactions and releases, they're right in there. If you're having an issue with an area, I'd move on. But there are very few areas that give you a rough time looking at the Register of Deeds or Land Records Department to research the debt. Who was that person there? AG, I have no idea what you're talking about. Sherry, in panning, do we need to skip over all sheriff sales that show plaintiff as a trust? I believe we're having a problem if the claimant is a trust. Sherry, I'll let Jeff tell me I'm wrong if that's an issue. Somebody's going to the question and answer section. Please don't go to the comment section. Greg, so it's always a little more difficult knowing what question to ask, mostly what's the best A to Z format to use to get in line and stay that way until you're comfortable using whatever package you buy. Okay, I don't you choose. Okay. Barb, please explain on the levels to the partnership. Are there 2 or 3? All right, so national surplus with that one, national surplus and Premier 16, both of them teach you how to do this on your own completely. If you want to partner, national surplus gives you the option where you go get a list, you research the debt against the property, turn it into us. We do the rest. We find them, call them, hire the mobile notary and the attorney. We give them 10% of the gross up front as good faith money, and we give you 8% of the gross total amount being held by the court, not net, gross. 8% when we successfully get the money out. That's the national surplus. Average deal running into these days is around 45,000, so it's 3,200 to 3,600 bucks. The other one is the Premier 16. Those are bundled together in the Pro Pack for 597 bucks come March 3rd. The Premier 16 gives you 16% of gross, but in addition to research, getting your own list, not hard, researching the debt, you also have to find the people and have a warm conversation to make sure you got the right guy or girl and that they're willing to speak with us. What most people do is they bundle them together and they try to work it as a Premier 16. If they can't find the people, instead of turning it in as a Premier 16, they turn it in as a national and make that our problem. It's a great way to game the system. I actually put a video that's going to show up tomorrow that's called Gaming the System. So good question. Glennis, so after I buy one of the programs, how do I have the opportunity to work with you? Or is that information in the program? Glennis, it's right in there. It explains exactly. The programs, the national surplus programs, regardless of which one you have, teach you how to do it on your own and also gives you an option to partner with us. And of course, we're going to tell you. I get people all the time to ask me these questions. So are you going to tell us how to do that? Are you going to tell us how to get a list? Are you going to tell us how to research the data? It would be kind of stupid if I didn't, right? Because you have to do that on your own, first of all. But if you're partnering with us, of course, we're going to teach you guys what you need to make a file work. We make the majority of our money on the back end, putting deals together. So as a result, we have a vested interest in making you successful. Tracy, thank you, Sean. Appreciate. I understand from one of your videos that partner program is included in the whole do-it-yourself program. Is that correct? That's correct. They're bundled together. I'd like to practice on partner, but soon doing myself. That's all. They're both included. Pardon me, forgot names programs. That's cool. Going to get the biggest package. Great, Tracy. Arlene. Hello there, Sean. This is Arlene. Remember me. I am rocking it. At first, I was looking a little gray. The panning is awesome. Good for you, Arlene. I remember there were some things you had to work your way through, but when it clicks, it just goes amazing, doesn't it? Barb, does the partnership level include the full how to do yourself training? Absolutely, Barb. Emmanuel, will hiring a lawyer to submit the claim for the zombie program speed up the process? So with the zombie program, Emmanuel, what the zombie is intended to do, that's an add-on for both either our flipping program or our surplus funds program. And what that's designed to do is, let's say, for instance, in surplus, you run across yourself, we're not going to work this, but if you run across a deal where a company owned the property prior to the foreclosure, but it went out of business before that, we teach you how to basically bring that business back to life, buy it from them for next to nothing, and then go claim the fund. So I really don't feel like an attorney's necessary for that, frankly. Same thing with, you can apply that toward our flipping programs, our deed flip programs, because if it's owned by a business that's gone out of business, in order for you to buy it and that be legal prior to the sale to flip it, you're going to have to buy the actual business from them, then record that, then buy the property, if that makes any sense. It's a great program. It's called the Zombie Business Reviver. But no, Emmanuel, to answer your question, I don't think an attorney is necessary in either of those issues. Jairus, hey, Sean, I purchased the panning. Very excited, but I now feel so out of my league. Do you feel most who got the system are more experienced? I got stuck, but still striving. Jairus, you just got to work it. Look, we have 125 people successfully turned in files on that program since January 1st. Okay. Over 800 turned in already. And the vast majority of them new. That's why it's actually a lower number. We have people that have turned in over 50 cases. But having said that, just work it. You'll get it. I promise you. It has nothing to do with past experience at all. The vast majority of that was new people for us. Any other new coming programs? Rochelle, probably not until January if we have any at all. We've got a few ideas of some things we're working on and beta testing. Rob, panning program for foreclosures with multiple persons listed on the deed. Do all home homeowners set them out. Jeff handles the front end, right? So if there's 100,000 there and there's 3 people, I know there's not going to be a problem. Even if we can just, work with one and go after the 33,000 if the other 2 are dead. Okay, we don't even have to open an estate to do that. We'll just go after the one that's alive. Work with the one that's alive. Raymond, if the party foreclosing on the homeowner is a company associated with the HOA to provide maintenance services to the community, has placed several liens for non-payment and is now foreclosing, do I turn that in as an HOA foreclosure, or can I even send it in 25K surplus? Raymond, I'm going to get Jeff to jump on that one. He handles the front line, and I'm not sure I understand what you mean by that. Don, is it realistic to be able to do this part-time? I work a full-time 50-hour week. Weekends are full-time, but I'll make time. Don, most people do. Most people start this off as a side hustle. Make sure that that's something they want to do, something they can do. And then once they get their feet wet, maybe put a couple of bucks in the pocket, they're taking off and doing it on their own. We see that a lot. I also have a lot of people who've been with me forever, and they just keep working as a partnership with us because they like the setup and they like the splits. Where should we ask questions here in Q&A now that you can answer? Now, so you can answer. Just, AJ, I don't understand what you're saying. You just asked me a question. Use chat, just like you just did. You just did. Nick, why wouldn't folks just go with the surplus funds 50-50 program? Well, that was a one-time give back program, guys. It's different than the other 2 programs we have. A lot of people do that. You can get that in the Diamond Bundle. Tracy, you already answered my next question, Sean. Fantastic. And Tracy says, thank you. Glennis, thank you for taking the time and answering these questions. No problem. Barb, where can I see what each of these programs do in the big bundles? Some I get, others I don't. Barb, there's a breakdown of each program inside of those bundles. There should be a breakdown of every single one of them in there where you can read about that. Roslani, again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right or not. Love all the information you give with your programs. Money well spent. Thank you. Ken, hello, Sean. Would it be good to use the techniques in panning to build a list to use in the National Surplus Funds Program? No, Ken, because the National Surplus is working with stuff where you already have a list created. If you're working panning, work panning. Glennis, so I'm a current notary in Central Florida. Is there a way I can get hired to help with notary docs with students in the program? I would like to earn some extra money. Glennis, if people are members with us, of course, we're going to give you a priority shot at stuff. So if you've already bought from us, just shoot me an email and say, hey, this is who I am in case you need anybody in this side of Florida, and we'll put you into the Rolodex, so to speak. That's how old I am. However, if you haven't been a member, I do have people that are members that are handling different parts that are notaries also. Can we get paid by check? Corey, sure. So the first one's typically a check, guys. Typically the first payment, when I pay you guys, when we put a deal together and close on it and I pay you, the first one's typically a check where you have to sign for it. I can send it to your office, to your home, whatever you want. There's some reasons for that. There's a whole backstory where we had somebody doing crazy stuff. After that, I can wire or ACH debit, wherever you want. And of course, we reach out right before we put it. If we've got it under contract, we reach out. after the attorneys reviewed it. So not immediately, but after the attorneys reviewed it. And then if we're about 2 weeks out, we'll reach out again and make sure we've got the right address. If we know the check's coming in, right? We got the right address, how to write it out to you, and all that. We double check everything. And we can send checks, or we can do wires, or ACH debits on a wire, or an ACH debit, or an overnight. We will deduct the cost of that. Typically, a wire is going to run me about $30 to send it to you. ACH debit is a little cheaper. I think it's about 20. And then overnighting depends on who we use, but I think we've gotten that down. If we use normal overnight, I think we've gotten that down to about $35. Greg, if it's a married couple and the surplus is 35, is that fine because they are married, or does it still have to be 25 per person? No, Greg, you can assume we're going to get in touch with both people. Okay, you don't have to assume that, oh no, they're only going to get up with one of these people. We're fine with that. Michelle, if we're interested in purchasing add-ons in the future after purchasing a bundle, is there a waiting period to purchase add-ons? Michelle, you can't get the add-ons at the add-on price later. You will have to go at that point, open your ebook, click the link to your resources page, and there'll be a Pass Buyer Loyalty discount, but it'll be about double the cost of what it would be if you'd gotten it as an add-on. We reward people for buying more. We'll give you a better deal for buying more up front, so you can't get add-ons later. We've done a lot, even though it's very clear on once the buy page is up. You can't get the add-on price later. You just can't. I'm still working on my very first. I think I'm out of my league. I had been. Okay, hey, just keep working on. Look, it should make you guys feel good that we've got 8. I think we're closing in on 900 files just from that one program. There's 3 programs we're running just on surplus. Had something like that with 125 people. I mean, that's insane. So. And that's picking up steam dramatically, because once you get your first couple under your belt, you just rock it out. Can we call when we get stuck after partnering? No, Naeem. Support is through Jeff. See, Jeff's handling not only he handles the front line. He handles not only the support questions, but he also underwrites the files. We think that makes sense, because then he knows who you are, and he's gone back and forth with you, so he sees the files also you turn in. It makes sense to us. So he handles support. That's email based, and that he has 3 days to get back to you. Typically gets back in 1 business day. But no, you can't call me when you get stuck. I wouldn't get anything done. We're partnering with you guys, trying to put deals together. I'm talking to realtors if we're flipping property, and I'm talking to attorneys and trying to get that done, and handling the staff. Jeff handles the absolute front line. He's the linchpin to this whole thing. So we don't have time to talk to you on the phone. We just don't. I've also had people say, hey, can I come and visit you at your office? No, I've had crazy stuff. I had somebody send me a ticking clock one time. We made him an offer. He didn't like the offer. And I said, I'm sorry, I couldn't, it's the best I could do. He sent me a ticking clock in the mail. So we don't like meeting people in person if we can avoid it. Sean, you said you're keeping groups small. I've counted at least 30 people in the group in here. Their space also, you stated Ma is challenging. I have no idea Ma is challenging, what that means. No, I'm not trying to keep these small in this. And no, we're at about 60. Typically, we have about 120 people in these, in the live webinars, and then about 3 times that as far as watches later on the replay. However, since we did not send an email announcing it, and we're not going to do that anymore. And part of that, guys, is we just don't want to over email, because then we start hitting spam filters and all that, and we can't get through to you. And we don't send you junk, you know that. But yeah, there's 56 people in here right now. Small. We're trying to limit the number of people to buy the program. That's why we only offer it a couple times a month, a couple days a month. Oh, Rosalani, you almost pronounced my name correctly. Thank you. That's good. Katie, Florida remote and Florida deed flip still good to go after? Absolutely. And you can find that, if you haven't already gotten it, in the best of the best, the gold or the diamond bundle. Great place to go. Guys, it looks like we're about out of time, and we're about done with questions. This has been really good. You guys, it's kind of nice when it's tight and people actually have the time to ask some follow-up questions, and I appreciate that. The replay, you'll get notice of that probably in about an hour, that you'll be able to go through the Webinar Jam system to get to it. Or if you just go to YouTube tomorrow morning or later, you'll be able to find it on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is Surplus Funds Riches. Do yourself a favor, subscribe to that channel, okay? Because I'm launching new content all the time to keep people up to speed. And you really need to watch the most recent one I did, where I said, it says surplus funds, the end or great opportunity. And you're going to see that my predictions about crazy tax sale foreclosures coming is hitting right when I said it would. So anyway, guys, I appreciate everybody showing up. If you have any further questions after you read, go to the surplusfundsriches.net. Okay. Go to products page, download the download on the middle of that page, read through that. If you have specific questions after that, give me a ring. 704, this is 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday, 704-791-9398. Good night, guys.